Hi, YouTube. It's your girl, Stephanie. Trying to get Elizabeth in here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of do an introductory of myself. Um, my name is Stephanie Mills. I am a mother that lost two children, 5 years apart. I lost my son in 2010 and then my daughter in 2015. And I noticed for myself, my voice is trying to go out. Oh, God. I noticed for myself that everybody's around you once the funeral is going on, and after the funeral is over, everybody's pretty much gone. You might have one or two people that may stick around, but I felt it's important that people kind of get an understanding about what us as mothers that have lost our children to violence. It's a whole different baby. And so last year, I think I started doing it last year. I started doing it on Facebook, and I started doing lives with mothers. By me being losing my second child. Can you get it, Liz? Hello. After I lost my second child, I just really.
What I sent you.
What?
Look at your text messages.
Oh, okay. Guys, excuse me. I'm trying to get my guest in here.
That's what I keep getting. Hold on.
Let's see. How to log on. You shouldn't have to log on. There should be something there that says enter into the studio.
No, I don't. I don't get that.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
That's what I'm getting. That's why I'm looking.
Try again.
Maybe if you send it to my text message, you think it'll be better?
I'll try because I'm doing this from my computer. I'm on my laptop.
Okay.
Let's see.
Hold on, yeah, my eyes is real bad, so I do things from my phone. My Zooms and everything.
Okay, let's see.
And you don't have like a YouTube link you can send me?
Well, we're not on YouTube. We're on live stream. Let's see. Let's Girl. I'll send it to myself and then see what happens.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, see, I'm going to my phone.
Okay, StreamYard. You're not seeing the event? Is anybody in here now? Let's see. Oh, they're not seeing.
Yeah, I see what you showed me. Just opening your browser. The thing I think is the only thing I have.
Okay, I'm gonna try it this way. Can you see me on live?
I don't. Well, I'm on the phone with you. Hold on. What live should I go on YouTube?
No, this here. I just sent you the StreamYard thing again. Can you see me on live? Let me see. Oh. Hi. Yeah. Okay. I see. Well. Let's see.
Okay. Let me see what happens now.
Get in here.
I don't know why they can't see me. I can see myself on here.
Huh?
I can see myself. It's working.
Okay. It says you're entering the studio.
Enter the studio.
Allow access. Open. Hold on now. Let me see. Am I muted? I say mic is working, so.
Okay. I haven't let you in yet. As soon as I see you.
Can you see me?
No, I don't see you yet.
Oh, display name, Elizabeth.
Okay, I see you now. Okay. Hey,
Girl.
y'all.
Hey.
All right, Elizabeth, let me go ahead and give you an introductory so everybody can know who you are. As I said, I lost two children, so this I'm really passionate about helping people and
Girl, I'm trying to get my face right.
people,
There you go.
um, kind of helps me get through my stuff. So this is a young lady that I have the pleasure of knowing her. We both connected. I don't know how we connected, but we connected through the book. Was it through the book?
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah. I was
I don't
doing
know
a book
how
project.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, something on Facebook. But we've known each other for a couple of years now, for
Yeah,
quite
we've
a
been
few
knowing each
years
other for a little
actually.
minute now. It's almost like 10 years.
Yeah,
Because my son been gone 11 years now.
yeah.
So,
So we've known each other for a while.
so Elizabeth is from Chicago.
Yep.
She's a boss. She's a boss. She's a boss. Let me introduce you.
Okay.
And I want her to share her story of what she went through, and then I want her to also share where she's at now because I'm really like I'm proud. I'm proud to know
Thank you.
her. I'm proud to know her
I'm
because
proud to know
she
you
has
too.
definitely turned her pain into purpose. And
Hmm.
my purpose is this. This has been my desire. I wrote my book and well, it got published in 2015. And my
Hmm.
heart, because of everything that I've been through in my life, I've always didn't want nobody to feel what I felt. So
Right.
my heart has always been for hurting people. And then I lost my
Right.
children,
Right.
so that just added another layer to my story. But
Right.
Elizabeth is a powerful soul who lost her daughter. What year was it?
I lost my daughter in 2015, July 20th.
2015, the same year. Okay, the same year I lost my daughter.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a different thing when you lose a child to violence.
Hmm. Well, I know.
Then
I lost my stepson to gun violence.
yeah,
Zaria. I didn't hear Zaria since she was 3 days old. So,
yeah.
yep, I know.
So it's nothing like losing a child to violence, and it's not like
Mm-mm.
the killer still being at large. Both of my children's killers are you're not paying the price for it. So I
Right,
live with that every day. But
right, 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 right,
God
right.
keeps me. But I want Elizabeth to share her story. Her story is a little unique and it's a little different because her stalker was caught, but she'll tell you the rest. So Elizabeth, she's from Chicago and she's a powerhouse. And I just want you to talk about the story first and then we'll get into that. Then if I have a question, I'll stop you. We'll
Okay.
go like that. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on your channel. I appreciate it. But as you know, my name is Elizabeth. And like Stephanie, I've lost two kids. So I lost my stepson. He was shot fighting over some girl. I don't, he got in, and I lost my daughter to suicide. She committed suicide as a result of being beaten and raped. And yes, I got her counseling because people always ask, did I get her counseling? I did. But there is no special pill. There's no special button. We had to go to court. My daughter was 14 when this nigga beat and raped her. And then she was 15 when she took her life. The court trial was a lot. Going back and forth to court, he would look at us. He kept laughing. He kept smiling, winking, and all kind of just ignorant stuff. And right. And, he ended up telling her, if you weren't so beautiful, I wouldn't have been attracted to you. So you have nobody but yourself to blame because I couldn't help myself. So it just, that was just too much. And I think that's what really pushed her over the edge. It was too much being, told it's your fault because I can't help myself.
Yeah.
And my daughter, she was an honor roll student. She wanted to go to Harvard Law. She was a state finalist in the teen pageants. I've sent you some of the pictures.
Yeah.
She took, Lord, dancing classes. She really had a great future, a bright future before this incident happened. After the rape, the PTSD kicked in, the depression kicked in. It got to the point where she didn't want to do her hair, her nails, or nothing. She just wanted to wear big clothes. I mean, like dark.
Mm-hmm.
She wore black, dark green, dark blue, whatever. No, nothing colorful, nothing girlish anymore. So it was like night and day. And like I said, I did get her counseling. I did everything I could in my power, and but like I said, it's only so much you can do, especially when you go on a court and have to keep going month after month. And we took a plea deal for 10 years of life parole. And it just wasn't enough.
So tell us about the journey of him stalking her.
The thing is, he had gotten out of prison. He was an IDOC. He wasn't even supposed to be in my neighborhood. Nobody knew. He was supposed to actually register at a halfway house, but he didn't. And what happens is, his parole officer ended up telling me that he had so many other parolees or clients, whatever you want to call them, that he was able to go under the radar without them realizing he had registered, because he had so many other people. So they didn't really pay no attention that he hadn't even registered. So, you got this grown man that they just let out, and they don't really watch. They didn't have no monitor on him, no nothing. And to entrust him to go and do what he's supposed to do, and instead of doing what he's supposed to do, he pops up and, when he say he's attracted to my daughter, my daughter was like small. She wasn't no, big, heavy girl. She didn't have, nothing that would really attract a man. You know what I'm saying? She was a girl, and she looked like a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Right. And she looked at 14. So, it wasn't like she had no long weaves, no makeup, or what do you call it stuff. She wasn't, like some of these girls is just really kind of grown looking for their age. And it wasn't even like that.
Girl.
And she was. And I'm going to just repeat that, because my thing is this. I don't care what you got on. No, you don't have the right to attack nobody. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be you have to wear a certain thing or nothing else. Because I know a lot of people say, well, it doesn't, well, what she wearing stuff. But even the kids, if they want to wear big earrings and stuff, that doesn't give a person the right to attack them. So when he I don't know, somehow or another, he became infatuated with my daughter. What I had to do was actually put him in the back of my head, because it got to a point in my life where I want to kill him. Eye for an eye type thing with me. I don't know. I can't explain it. I just really cannot explain him. He would follow her. He walked her and waited till she was alone. When he caught her by herself, and that's when he attacked. He would follow her. He walked her and waited till she was alone. When she caught her by herself. And this dude was, almost 300 pounds.
Woo.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture. This dude, everybody who done seen his mugshot say he looks like either a rapist or a serial killer. So you can just see the nastiness in his face. He looked like a big old nasty thing. And if I'd have been thinking, I could have screenshotted it and sent it to you before we did this thing.
Did she come home and tell you that she felt somebody was staring at her?
No, because she's 14. 14-year-olds don't. When you're 14, you don't even be thinking about stalking. You don't be thinking about nobody following. You don't. And see, we didn't live in a bad neighborhood. We lived in Flossmoor, which is, a pretty decent neighborhood. Like a lot of judges and, police officers, judges, politicians and stuff lived out there. So it's not like we lived in projects, nothing, but, stuff can happen anywhere.
Yeah,
so after my daughter's death, the day she died, I had been doing laundry that day. And I was up and down the stairs, and I was kind of upset about court and everything, but I didn't want to say nothing to her. And what essentially happened was she had asked me around 10 o'clock that night. She asked me to run her some bath water, and she wanted the lavender and I think it was chamomile. She had me put in there for her, and she was in the tub for about an hour. And I kept saying, "Are you okay?" And she would say, "Yeah, mommy." So about maybe a little after 11 or so, I laid down, and then it had to be maybe after midnight. She came down and said, can she lay down with me? And I said, yeah. And so she laid on top of me, and she used to always do that. My son, anybody can tell you, she always laid on me. And she said, I love you, mommy. I said, I love you too, baby. And then we went to sleep and she just never woke up again. She took the bottle of Trimodols the hospital gave her. They gave her Trimodols because her ovaries and uterus was swollen
Mm-hmm.
to the point where she couldn't walk. They were just super swollen and super inflamed. So she ended up taking a bottle of Trimodol.
So was that a sleeping agent?
No,
Was
Trimodol is for pain and swelling. It's a pain pill.
okay.
Yep,
So
Trimodol.
it made her go to sleep too. So she just slept
Yeah,
and
yeah.
didn't wake up.
Um,
When did you notice?
you know what? It's when I woke up at 6, I tried to wake her up and I couldn't. I woke up, I said, Marcy, get up because I gotta get up. And nothing happened. Then I said, Marcy, nothing happened. Then I said, Marcy, and still nothing happened. And what ended up happening was I started, shaking Marcy. Then I screamed for my son to come down, and he came and he looked and I said, he looked at her face. He said, call 911. So I did. I called 911. I said, there's something wrong with my daughter. I can't wake her up. And they got there. Keith, which is he was the police officer. They got there. He laid her down and started working on her. And the paramedics, came in right behind him and they took over, started working on her. I ran in the bathroom, washed my face, brushed my teeth, and I heard the paramedics, we gotta take her to the hospital. So I ran right behind them, and my son was like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know." So I got in the front, and I ain't never been so scared in my life because I didn't know. I didn't know if she was just unconscious. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't say nothing. They rushed me to the hospital. Um, the doctor, it was Dr. Moore. He was actually outside, and it was 2 or 3 nurses out there. They took her and they went through the emergency. They took me through the emergency. They took her through the back and they took me through the emergency room because I'm visually impaired. And they did, I was just like falling. So nurse just grabbed me and said, "We're gonna go in this way." Um, so she took me in and grabbed me, and I went and she sat me down by the emergency room doors right by it. And she says, "Let me go see what's going on in there." And she came back a few minutes later and said, "You need to start calling your family." And like I said, this is 6 o'clock in the morning when this is happening. I didn't have a phone or nothing. So I said, I don't have nowhere to call nobody right now. I don't have nothing with me, no phone or anything. And she says, just write down the numbers. And I knew my sister's number and I knew my niece's number. And I said,
Because we
call
don't
her.
know nobody's number now.
Right. You know what? They didn't had the same numbers forever. So I always, people that had the same numbers, they had the same number forever. So I know they number by heart. So I had her call them. So she called them and said, your family on the way. And I said, well, what's wrong? Does she need surgery? I mean, what's going on? Is she okay? Did she need to go to another hospital? Did she need blood transfusion? What, surgery? What? And so she said, let me go see what the doctor's saying. And I said, okay. And, a few minutes later, the doctor, and a third person came and they said, come on, Miss Joe, we need to talk to you. And at that time, they had took me into the this little private room, and none of us was dawning on me that they're taking me to a room. And I kid you not, the third person informed me that he was a chaplain, and nothing. I'm still like, okay, what's wrong with this? She's at the hospital. I mean, what's going on? Does she need surgery? Do you have to transfer her? Is she in a coma? What happened? And he said, I need you to sit down, and I did. And he says, this is one of the hardest parts of my job. And he says, your daughter expired and there's nothing else we could do. And it's like I was in a twilight zone, like, can I see it? I did, it's just like you hear him, but you can't.
You're numb. Yeah.
You don't, you're just like, you hear what they're saying, but it's just like you can't comprehend what they're saying or something. And it's like you almost in a twilight zone. It's just different. And when I seen her laying there and they said you can't hug her, you can't kiss her because they had to do the autopsy. So they had her laying in the bed, they had cleaned her up and everything. And my sister and my niece made it there. I think my other nieces came, but they was too late. It just didn't seem real. It really didn't. And I think even through the process of going to the funeral home to plan her funeral, look at caskets, do this, do that, it just was not real. It did not really hit me till I seen her going to the ground. And it's like that's when it's when it really starts like hit you when you seeing your child going into that ground, like they're not coming back.
Yeah.
And it's like, all the anger started building up and you're like, what in the world do you start thinking, maybe I should have went to sleep. Maybe I should have did this. Maybe I should have did that. And, one thing about suicides, when they make up their mind to do it, they don't tell you there's no symptoms. There's no, it's like they have a regular day,
No warning.
right. You wouldn't know what it is. So I had no idea, you know. And I always tell people, when I first had her and they cut the umbilical cord and they laid her on my chest, she peed on me. And when she died, she peed. But the thing is, my neighbor had gave her a puppy, so I thought the puppy had actually peed on me, but it
Okay.
was her. She peed on the first person she ever peed on, and the last person. She came in the world in my arms and she peed, and she went out in my arms and peed. So,
Mhm.
um, that was a hard pill to swallow. Um, so and people kept saying to me, well, Black people don't kill themselves and this, that, and the other. And, when you start doing your research, suicide and mental illness and rape and it's
Mhm.
everything, all these things are very high in the Black community. These are just taboos and stigmas that we just don't talk about.
Yeah.
And what I did is I decided to turn my pain into my purpose.
Yeah.
And I wanted to start, I said, I got to save lives and get her story out there so people will know, especially our youth, they'll know there's an ally. We can, sometimes they can't talk to their parents because in this day and time, sometimes the mothers have boyfriends or that might be
Mhm.
raping them or molesting them or beating on them. Sometimes it could be a neighbor. It's just sometimes the kids just don't want to talk to their parents about certain things. So, I always let them know, talk to your school, reach out, go to the police department or, what I'm saying? It's people out
How,
there you can talk to. If
how
you
do you
can't
deal with the
talk to,
burden of that?
how do I do what?
How do you deal with the burden of that? Of speaking to the teens and because I remember after Jahan, after I lost him, I was
Mhm.
speaking to a lot of the youth. I was going to different places to the YAs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I would have them kids just after they heard my story, they would just come up to me in groups and telling me they were molested. And I know for me, that was
Mhm.
hard for me to process because you feel helpless. So how do you handle that?
When I'm talking to the youth and stuff, and they do tell me stories, um, sometimes you want to break down, and a lot of times most times I just hold my composure, and
Hmm.
when I want to cry or something, or somebody's telling me something, because it's not even just the youth. I've had women from all over the world reaching out to me.
Yeah,
I've had women tell me that they were molested as kids, and
yeah,
back then it'd be like, well, what goes on in my house stays on in my house. So they
yeah,
never got no help, and
yeah.
they got all that trauma. Then I've had women that are raped or beaten, going with domestic violence, whatever, and they don't get help or reported now because they're afraid of the judgment and because in the Black community we judge and stuff like that. What do they have on? What was this? What was that? It's everybody's fault but the person who did it in the Black
Yes.
community.
There
And
you go. There you go.
it's just crazy how, we victimize the victims,
Yeah.
and
That that
we are the only
that's what
community
happened
of
to
people
me.
that, huh?
That's what happened to me because I was molested from 5 to 12, and nobody never did anything. Once I finally told my grandmother about it, and it almost seems like when I wrote my book and I told my story, everybody pushed me away.
Oh
You
wow.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When
that
I,
taboo.
but they cuddle the predator, but they don't.
Right.
They leave you. You know,
Right.
so I've had to suffer tremendously, even with the death of my kids, because of my truth, and it's hard. That's a hard thing. That's why people don't say nothing
I
because
know.
they're gonna blame them.
Right. And you know what though? It's like we are in an era now where, one of the things I talk to people like, one of the things, the video you see me when we said I was going off on the little 7-year-old girl who was killed in Chicago. She
Yeah,
was in the driveway getting some McDonald's with her dad. Her dad was into all kind of BS, which, it had nothing to do with her. My problem with that is if the police would have killed that, Chicago would have been burnt down. They would have
hmm,
been protests. They've been talking about Black Lives Matter and this, that, and the other bullshit.
yeah, yeah,
But when it's Black on Black or community violence or whatever, because they say there's no such thing as Black on Black, there's crickets.
yeah.
People don't take our community seriously
They don't.
because we
They don't.
don't take it seriously.
Yeah, because
You know,
we're doing their work for them.
the thing
Killing
is,
each other so they don't have to.
you have these big activists like Tamika and BLM and what's the name, Sean King and all them. They tell people to tear your shit up and burn it down. But when people look at it, when Tamika Mary goes her ass home, her neighborhood is not the one being destroyed. Sean King's neighborhood is not being destroyed. And you know the women from BLM, their neighborhoods is not being destroyed. Your neighborhood is being destroyed.
Yeah.
So now you don't have no stores, you don't have this, but they still comfortable in their houses while you are struggling, and you done put yourself in a worse predicament listening to them. And then they don't come running. There is no outrage unless it's a police shooting. They say
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. Well, then what? Only way, and if you listen to them, Black lives only matter if it's the police or a white person kill us. Because if we kill us, it don't matter.
It
When
don't
women
matter.
when women going through domestic violence, it don't matter. The rape victims don't matter. Suicides don't matter. Homelessness don't matter. Nothing matters other than police. So if we're tired, we should be tired of all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we can't change nothing. Nobody else help us until we help us. It starts and ends with us. We got to start finding out what's going on in these homes, and if
Yes.
kids,
Yes.
what's going on, if these kids are being raped or whatever else, to see why these kids are doing all these carjackings, and because it's the youth that's killing everybody. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to figure out what's going on in these homes that's making them feel like it's okay to just take a life, or feel like it's okay to just, carjack somebody or whatever you're doing. It starts with stuff like that. We got to come together. And then as Black women, we need to start coming together and stop dragging each other, dogging each other out. All that foolishness has got to stop. And, one of the things I do with my movement is, I don't just do like suicide or mental illness. I work with rape victims, women that are in domestic violence, the mothers who lost to police shootings, black shootings, white on black shootings, cancer. I've even had a mother that reached out to me who child died of AIDS. Because the pain is the same. Everybody say their pain is different. The pain is the same because our kids are not coming back. I get so tired of people saying, well, our pain is different than yours because our kids got killed by gun violence, or our kids got killed by the police. Honey, our pain is the same because our kids are not coming back, period.
Yeah, but
stop. It's the same.
I'm gonna say something right there. I think what makes it different is the turn of you knowing that your child was killed. Somebody hurt them,
right?
Physically shot them, or
I know. My stepson was killed. I've lost three nephews. I've lost three nephews and a stepson to gun violence. So I know the pain, and I can tell you, it's the same. They're not coming back.
Yeah,
they're just not. And every woman that I know who lost a child, have that same. It's like that same emptiness in them. It's not like, well, my child was murdered, so I'm empty, and my child died of cancer. They all empty. A lot of women commit suicide after losing their kids, and the lady, what's her name? I think her daughter that was Dixie, the girl who was raped. I think her name was Dixie somebody. She was a white girl, and her mom, or was her mom Dixie? But it was a girl had a really big platform. She had a story similar to my daughter's, but she was raped, I think, in college or something. Her mother hung herself after her daughter committed suicide because of the trauma of the rape. And you know what I'm saying? She was an adult. She was in her 20s. And her mom ended up committing suicide after that because she couldn't deal with living without her daughter. So, I know mothers who lost to different things, and they all have that same emptiness. It's not like one emptiness is more, because we all carry our babies. The labor pains might be different. Some might be able to say they don't have it, but when you see your child going in that ground, your mind is just not the same no more. And I don't care how you lose it. It's just your mind is it's that emptiness, it's that hurt, it's that pain. Because you can lose your mother, you can lose your father, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It's not the same when it's your child, because you expect your kids to bury it. Right. And I think that's the problem people don't understand. And I think a lot of people, and I'm going to say this, I think everybody deserves justice. That's why I don't sit there and just run when I see media. I'm the person that comes when everything dies down, because that's when you really start needing a person.
That's exactly what
the activists, the activists, they're there when the media is there.
Yeah.
But once the media gone, you don't see them no more. Yeah. But you still there with that emptiness, that hurt, that pain. So that's where I come in. I come in because that's when I know you need a person the most.
Yeah.
And I don't try to be in front of a camera. You don't see me on TV and burn the shit down and do this, that, the other, because why would I want to tell my own stuff? It just doesn't. Knowing you're gonna be sleeping, you know what I'm saying? You sleeping comfortable. I want to be comfortable. So that's one of my missions is to just hopefully is to empower as many people and help. And I want to help in every way I can because I want to see us eat. I want to see our community rise. I want to see us start working together. I don't know how good it's going to come along because these generations are kind of are not the same, but I try my
Mhm.
best. And some of the things I'm working on is I'm actually talking to the Cook County Land Bank next week to see if I can get some properties in Chicago or, the South suburbs. I want to start programs for the youth. Maybe have somebody come in to do trade, like teach them how to do plumbing, electrical, bricklayer, and painting, whatever. Have people come
Mhm.
in to teach them how to do barbers, how girls how to do hair. We get some celebrities sometimes to come in and teach them about acting and how what you got to do to get into acting or singing. Have different people come in and do different things. We might have somebody come in and teach self-defense classes. And then I also, going to get doctors to come in and work with them for like if they need counseling or therapy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that. And I also want to be able to get like a safe house for the women that are going through like domestic violence and rape victims that need to get away from maybe their abuser. So I'm trying to do that. And like right now, we donate food to the homeless people or people who
Mhm.
need it. You don't have to be homeless. During COVID, we gave out disinfects, and I got a lot of stuff right there that we give out. We get Lysol and the Lysol wipes and
And
all
this is
kind of
your baby's
household.
organization? Is this the organization that's under your baby?
Yeah, that's my organization, MJG
Yeah.
Movement, man. Yep, we do that. We give out all kind of stuff, so I give back to the community. I don't go around. I don't put it on Facebook what I do for nobody because everybody don't want you in their business. Everybody don't want to know that they need food. Everybody don't want people to know that they need handouts. So I
Mhm.
don't put. I take pictures though for my proof, but I don't put it on Facebook. I don't
Mhm.
need likes, clicks, and views to show that I'm helping somebody because it's out the kindness of my heart. So I do that. I do a lot. I really do.
But this is the purpose of me doing this because I really feel that those are left behind. The ones that are left behind are forgotten.
Yeah, and
My daughter, my son been gone for 11 years. My daughter been gone 6 years now, and I know I was left behind. But
yeah,
I got to get up
I know
and
that's right.
continue to do what I got to do. But there's so many people that don't have the support system of or your drive. Because I know me, I give up and I'll sit in the four corners of my bedroom for
Mhm.
months. Won't go
I
outside,
know.
won't do nothing. It's real easy for me to get in that place. And
I
I
know.
and
That
I go there
depression.
sometimes still, but I come out of it quicker than
Okay.
than I did. So my whole thing is I want to educate people on what we actually go through because they go
Right.
away.
Right.
What
Hey,
about the family? What about the kids?
right. And
What
that's
about the
what right.
children?
Exactly. And
So
that's
what
what
can
I'm
we
and
do
that's what
to
I talk
help?
about. You
Yeah,
know, I had my podcast and I sent you, did you see my interview I did on domestic violence?
yeah, I saw it.
Um and my thing is I do a lot of the same stuff you do, like with my podcast. I've had mothers on, because I know a lot of the high profile moms and I let people come
Mhm.
on and tell their stories and because can't nobody tell your story like you can. The
No
activists
way.
can't do it. Nobody can. So, but I don't just do the mothers. I do rape victims, domestic violence survivors, sex trafficking. Um, have all people. Anybody who reaches out, and then start getting politicians in to come in and say, "Hey, what are you doing about this? X, Y, and Z." And then the forgotten ones. And I'm gonna bring this up, like with Black Lives Matter. Patrice Curls just recently bought, I think, 3 or 4 houses for millions of dollars, but half of the mothers that they got rich off of are on like struggling. They're on maybe Section 8. They may be homeless. They may be they're going through a lot of the mothers that they getting rich off of not living like they living. Everybody who lose their child to police shootings that don't just get some $1 million check. They really don't.
Yeah.
Most of them don't. And people have this theory that they getting rich and this, that, and the other. A lot of them don't really. The high profiles may, but a lot of the ones you really don't hear about, they struggling. So those are left behind. And then there's a high profile versus a low profile. You know, when I went to Minneapolis, when George Floyd, the standing solidarity with the mothers, I was blown away when I found out there was a high profile versus low profile. I'm like, what? You know,
Yeah,
and I thought that was the craziest thing I've ever heard. Because
right.
how do you have a high profile? How do you? It's like their kid. They all have deceased kids.
Yeah.
So it just seems kind of inhumane and just ignorant. And it's stuff like that that goes on in our community that it's just mind boggling. You know what I'm saying? It should never be a high profile versus a low profile. Should nobody ever be able to become rich off your child and your child in your pain?
Because all
Nobody.
kids should matter.
And that's what I say. If Black Lives Matter, all of our kids should matter. All of our Black women, you know, and you know, as a Black woman, we're underappreciated. It's just you know what I'm saying? People consider us the worst mothers. We're the ugliest. We're the this. We're the that. The loudest. The ghettoest. You know what I'm saying? And we need to start sticking together and coming together and get a sistership.
Mm-hmm.
We need to all just start getting a bond and figure out what we got to do, because it's gonna, like I said, in our community, it's gonna start and end with us.
But I'm gonna tell you something about a lot of these organizations.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, remember when I was doing everything and I was just all over the place. I was trying to. And when me and one of my friend girls, we was wanting to put together a 2 million women march in Washington, and so I started reaching out to all of the groups,
okay,
the grieving groups, and what I had noticed was most of them were like, well, I do this, and I said it's not about what you do, it's what we all can do together.
Exactly.
It really turned me off because it's like a crab in a bucket mentality.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's how it is.
No further than me, but don't one person have the answer to this? It's gonna take a whole country.
Exactly. Right.
Because this is happening everywhere. I don't get impressed with the whatever they call them, high profile cases. Because my his partners killed him.
Yeah, a lot of them though died.
So it's like I just don't get impressed. But I wanted to let people know what we go through, and so it will give people that they'll think different when they see another mother lost a kid that's close to them, and they may handle them different if they know, because I thought I had lost my mind. Yeah. And then when I started interviewing all of the mothers, everybody don't have your drive, because some women are just not even there.
I know. You know what though? You know what though? You have a choice. Either you sit at home and you ride away and go down, 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 or you have to get out and you have to just keep your head. You know, they say an idle mind's the devil's workshop or play shop, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I try to stay busy as I can. You know, I do have my down days where I don't want to be bothered, my grieving days, my nerves is bad. But for the most part, you know, I have, you know, like I said, my son, I have really good support. And I just try to surround myself with positive people. Once a person starts showing me some negativity, some BS, stuff like that, I kind of move back from that. So I have a good support group. And like I said, I really try to stay active as much as I can, because you have two choices. Either you're going to stay in the house and lose your mind grieving over, I shoulda, or just get out and do something. You know, think about how your child would want you to turn their legacy around. You know what I'm saying? Think about what they would want you to do in their name and in their honor, and you honor your child the best way you can. You know what I'm saying? And can't nobody honor your child like you can. Can't nobody. And you know, I think so many people reach out to these activists, and you know, and they get on TV and this, that, the other, or can't nobody honor your child like you can, because you raised them, you had them, you care for them. So you figure out what you got to do the best way to honor your child, or to help you with your grief, and that helps you with your grief too. That way you're not just sitting in the house. You sit in the house, man. You know,
and what keeps me alive. My husband was telling me last week. He was like, "I noticed when you're doing this,
Yeah.
You light up, and it's just like I just want to help somebody. I just don't
Right.
want anybody to
Want to
feel
save lives and
alone,
stuff. Right.
alone and
Exactly.
left behind when it comes to a
Exactly.
kid. Ooh, I'll start crying. Lord Jesus, help me.
Right.
But I just don't want nobody to. I think people need to understand us.
Right.
You know, so I'm looking forward to the next few lives I'm doing because I'm just trying to fill my calendar up.
I
I
know
want
that's right.
people to get on and so they can understand people,
Right. Right.
educate them so that they can know how to
Right.
handle somebody lost a child. If it's just a phone call, if it's just sending a gift card for
Mm-hmm.
some groceries, you don't know what people are going through because you know with my kids, I didn't have no insurance,
Mm-hmm.
but you thought I would have learned the first time, but I didn't think that would ever happen to me again. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Right.
So when
Right.
it happened again, I was like, here I go again. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
didn't, I didn't learn from that first time
Right.
because I should have got my kids like my son now. He's like, I'm doing it this time, mom. Because I went through a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I went through a lot. I stopped working. I didn't work.
Yeah. That depression is real.
Everything. Yeah, I stopped
Mm-hmm.
doing that. I stopped wanting to live. And then I remember when I woke up, it was Kanika Jenkins' case. And I
Oh
said,
yeah.
and God was just tugging on me. He was like, I brought you through everything that I brought you through for you to
Mm-hmm.
get up. Because I know you're not afraid to tell it.
Right.
So I
And
knew I
you
had
and you.
something.
One of the things I don't like is that when it's a community violence or a black on black shooting, whatever you want to call it, when a mother loses her child to black violence, a lot of times the mothers are dragged. A lot of times the mothers are, well, what were you doing? This, that, and the other. And they get called all kind of derogatory names, but they could be the same child. And when the police kills them, oh my
Mhm,
God, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's the bullshit. It don't make sense. Knock it off.
mhm,
I don't think people realize how inhumane that is. Here's an example. Let's say you lose your child to gun violence, and then the person across the street loses their child to a police shooting, but everybody running to the person across the street because it's a police shooting.
yeah,
You might have had the greatest kid, an honor roll student. The kid
yeah,
that got killed by the police might have been a menace. And
yeah,
let me say this: should nobody have to bury their child? Should nobody lose their child? But
mhm,
I'm saying is that I'm just tired of the bullshit. I'm just tired of people running to stuff for clout and likes and stuff, and people and they're not giving the same energy to the other mothers. All mothers who lost should have that same energy. We
yeah,
all want justice. Rape victims want justice. Domestic women that are going through domestic violence, they want justice. Look how many women that are killed because of domestic violence.
Woo! I looked
You
through
know,
YouTube and I seen all of these. I
it's
was looking at
crazy.
funerals and I
They
seen all these little
right,
baby girls getting killed by these dudes or these men. I was just like,
yeah,
oh my God.
yeah. They want justice, and we all want
I
justice.
don't,
The
you don't
same
hear
way,
about that. You don't hear
yeah,
about all of that because I
right,
was amazed to see all these beautiful little girls getting killed by these dudes.
right. Sex trafficking, they want justice. It's we all want justice.
Yeah,
Everybody wants justice. I do know it's a difference because the police are supposed to be here to protect and serve, not kill us. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And I have a black son, and when he leaves, he used to work at Monterey Security, so he has a FOIA card and he has an open carry. And sometimes I'm just like, he can't carry a gun because if the police pulls him over, he might get killed because they see him got with a gun. Or then I think, well, dang, what if these niggas decide to carjack him and he don't have nothing? So it's like a damned if you do and damned
Yeah,
if you don't
yeah.
situation. But
It's
everybody
scary.
deserves justice.
Yeah, it's scary.
Everybody deserves
Mhm,
justice,
mhm.
and we all do. And we all want it. We all love our kids. We all hurt for our kids. We all want our kids to grow up to be productive young men and women and become something and do something with their lives. Nobody wants to bury their child,
Yeah,
but it makes it more difficult when you're watching TV and you're seeing one person get praised and like it's a sport or something, and then you see another person the child gets killed and it's crickets.
it's sad
Just
to me. It
right.
saddens me when I see
It,
it because I feel like I've been cheated
yeah.
of being able to go into the courtroom and speak my mind to who killed my daughter and who killed my son.
Oh,
I feel like I've been cheated of that.
you didn't get justice for either one of them.
None, neither one. I could be standing next to the dude in the store and wouldn't know.
Wow. And see, that's what I'm saying. It should have been our way
That's
to you.
another whole emptiness,
Right.
and why I gotta keep fighting because it's just, and I
And
don't
you
know
know,
how I
and you
feel.
and you know somebody knows something. Somebody know for both of them.
Mhm,
Somebody know who did something.
mhm.
They just don't talk.
My daughter, where she got killed at, she was crossing the street in a crosswalk, and is a trailer park, and they heard her. They heard her. Okay, they heard her say, "You going too fast," because whoever this dude is, he ran the light, and he ran her over. Got out the car and looked. Got back in the car. No, he hit her, and
Okay.
then got out the car, looked, and then got back in the car and ran her over. So she was not she was specifically ran over
So he did this on
purposely.
purpose.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Could it have been domestic?
Well, my daughter had changed her little lifestyle. She liked the girls. She wanted
Okay.
to like the boys. So that right there was scary for me when she did. I was like, I'm scared because I know what they be doing because they like the same thing dudes like. You know what I'm saying? So I was already scared for her. That was the hardest thing for me to deal with. But I
Right.
told my daughter, I said, I love you. I don't like that. You know,
Right.
I'm never
Right.
gonna be with that. But
Right.
I love you because you my daughter.
Right.
People call the house is he there? You know.
Oh, talking about her. Okay.
I used to clown so many people. I was like, look, let me tell you something. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care. It's a girl. Okay, she's a girl. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So when you come here, and if you want to speak to her, her name is Britannia. Brie
Hmm.
Brie.
Right.
It was amazing because like I was telling you. Remember, I was telling you we was talking. I was like, um, when she died, I had the opportunity to put a dress on her. And everybody was like, Stephanie, don't you do that to her. And I was like,
Right.
ooh, but I could really
Just dress up and make a dollar up, huh?
but I let her be her. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So it's so much
Okay.
stuff. There's so much stuff.
Right.
Yeah, in
Well,
a few days it's gonna be my son's May the 13th is when
oh
he got
wow.
killed, 2010. So that's
Okay.
coming up. So I'm gonna try to do me a live on that day so I could
What
just
day is it?
May the 13th.
Oh
Last time I
wow.
spoke to him was on Mother's Day.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I wish I was out there with you because I'd come and chill with you.
I know.
I thought my comic book would have been done today, but the guy said his PC messing up some. But he's at the end,
For
so
the is this for the character?
mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about that because that's purpose.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I got little lip gloss and stuff, and got some. I ain't got a bunch, but one of the things I'm doing is um we're coming out with a line of coloring books and comic books. Black Girl Resilient Superhero. Marcy Marvel's coloring books and comic books. The first comic book, thought it was going to be done today, but he said he texted me that his PC messing up. So hopefully by next week it'll be done.
Okay.
And I'm going to work on a project. If he gets done with Marvel, it's just, you keep putting it off. And so it's kind of like, oh my God. But it's funny how God works because I did a Zoom earlier. With different people, and one of the persons that was introduced to me was a guy. He's a producer, but he also does like the comic books and the voiceovers and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I got his information. So if push ever comes to shove, I can actually, he's in Chicago. I can actually reach out to him. He does stuff with Netflix and
Okay.
other stuff. So he's a good contact I got. And then I'm doing another Zoom. I'm not sure if it's next week or the week after next, and it'll be with Vivica A. Fox and oh my God, it's a few of them. I don't forget everybody, but I've been doing a lot of Zooms lately, because this is Sexual Assault Victims Month, and then May is Mental Health Month.
Okay.
So I've been doing a lot of Zooms. So the coloring books and the comic books, what it'll be, it's coloring and stuff like that is therapeutic for rape victims. Domestic violence is therapeutic, and it's just something that's fun. And what it'll be is it'll be like a black girl superhero, which would be my daughter.
It's so cute.
And the thing is, it's victims that actually, well, survivors. They don't say victims no more. They say survivors. So the survivors are actually the ones that, hey, approach me, because we were going to try to do a documentary with BT. And what happened was they were like, instead of just doing a plain documentary, why don't you just do like a superhero thing? Because that would be more meaningful, because they reach a younger crowd too, because younger people don't really like documentaries. So I still want to do my documentary too, though. So
well, you can do your own, though. You can do your own, because I have this vision of doing a documentary with like at least like five of us mothers. I'm calling you. So 5 of us mothers that can really just because I want to do something I want to do my part in this world. I'm not talking about just my community. I'm just
right in the world. Exactly. That's how I am too.
So, my mentor on here, she's in here too, Miss Lowdown. Man, I love this lady. Okay. But she wants to do something for the left behind, for the families and stuff. So I was just, I've been thinking, because sometimes God will give me something huge, and I know where I'm at now. I'll be able to handle getting the right support system to get it done. Right. Not just writing, because you write the vision down, make it plain, and he'll do just what he said. So I really want to do something. She got me like thinking about it, because that's my purpose of doing these. Right. The left behind. You know what I'm saying? Especially these. Let me tell you about these high profile cases. It might seem unfair, but guess what? It's so unfair for the families to have to look on the news every day.
See their child, and then what make it even worse is the comments, because when they be on social media like Facebook or whatever, when you read them comments, and sometimes I read the comments make you want to just, these people just lost their child. Yes. So some of these comments is,
somebody.
And then it's, the whole thing is just unfair. People, they have to keep hearing people use the child's name.
So it's a lot. That could be more tormenting than the ones that don't have to hit it. Both my kids were on the news, but it didn't stay. It didn't stay like stay. It hit the news, but it didn't get big like some of these people, because I feel bad for the families that are being exploited.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the high profile, I guess.
But these people are, cloud chase, whatever you call it. These people are taking these people's names and making these stories, and
they becoming they are literally becoming millionaires off of people paying people kids.
Yeah,
millionaires.
Yeah. So we don't get together and figure out something we can do, because we don't stay in the same.
But I know you're not by LA, but maybe one day when I'm in LA, we can somehow meet halfway and meet up and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I be doing things out there, and I be everywhere. I'm everywhere. So I do be in LA.
I need to catch up. Because I know people like, Stephanie, you got to get up, because God has a purpose for you. You can't sit down here. People are waiting for you. I used to have people saying, Stephanie, because like you were saying how people was telling you that they've been molested. When the first project came out about my book, about From Bondage to Beauty, when that came out,
I gotta get one of your books. I never got one.
My inbox was full of older women talking about, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I was molested, whoopty whoop this and whoopty whoop that. I was just like, whoa, that stuff is overwhelming. When you're helping people, it's really overwhelming. That's why I think I'm going to probably do like one or two of these a week, because I have to I got a woo side,
Right. Okay.
But yeah, we definitely need to do something. We got to do something. It's and I'm glad that you're doing something. So
I know. I've connected with like Raz B. I've been talking to him about his traumas. You know what I'm talking about?
Raz B.
From the group B2K. Remember
Oh,
back in
okay,
the
yeah,
it
yeah, I
used
know
to
who you're
be
talking about.
Omarion and
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah. So I talked with him about his traumas and stuff. You know, believe it or not, a lot of them people that you see on TV and music, they've all got a lot of traumas and a lot of stories. And
Hmm.
you know, I've been blessed to meet a lot of people through this journey of mine. And I know they're doing a documentary. Um, I'm not sure if it's gonna be with BET or what do you call it? Um, I think it might be with BET, one of them. But I was told I might, if everything goes right, and they decide because it's gonna be for men, but they said they may let women come. If they let women come, they don't let me speak on it
Oh, okay,
with them.
okay, that's awesome.
But
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But I want something with us. I want something with, like you said, the mothers and
Hmm.
us too, because so many people need to get their hurt out and really want to, just let people know who they are, and so you
That's where
can
your
reach
healing
out
comes
and
from. When you can
right.
talk about it and get it out instead of holding all of that
Mm-hmm.
garbage in, you are really, because I know after my son died, I got high blood pressure. I had already had diabetes.
Yep,
I
and
got high blood pressure.
you know what's
And
funny? Everybody I know that lost a child, they either get sick, they get cancer,
then,
they
mhm,
diabetes, they get
mhm,
heart problems.
mhm,
And that's
mhm.
why I say you have to stay focused because that grief will kill you,
It will
stress
kill
will
you.
kill you, and grief
It will
will. And
kill
people
you.
don't realize you can grieve yourself to death, and
Yeah.
you get to the point that grief you just tear your body down.
I have never had anxiety until my daughter died. Because my
I
best friend,
believe
she said, Stephanie, I know you don't like taking them pills because you say
it. Right,
you, you
I
have an
believe
addictive
it.
personality. And I had to go to the doctor because I would look at a picture and I would just cry all the time. I mean, I was just
Okay,
I'm still sensitive now, but I have anxiety. I still
okay.
have anxiety.
hmm
I still have it. I still take my pills for anxiety. And that was
hmm
6 years ago.
Wow. You know what though? You're not bad, as some people I've seen, and I think you've come a long ways too. And you know when to step back, and you know when you say, "Hey, enough! I need a deep breath."
Yeah, but it's not always good because when I do that deep breath, I go in the four rooms in the four walls of my room and don't leave out.
Oh wow!
So it's
You
not
just
good. I
oh
gotta
wow!
stay. I gotta stay to what God has called me to do, and
hmm
that's why I'm doing this now because I really 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 want to help people at least feel hopeful that it's not just them. Because what I learned doing this is that a lot of my behaviors after my daughter died, I heard another mother say they went, and I was like, okay, so I ain't crazy.
Right.
You
We all go through something.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm
We
saying?
all.
You get in that little dark place and you'll stay there for so long.
Yeah.
You think you're the
Yep.
only person. You're the
Yep.
only person. You're the only person that had that day when you just want to cut your wrist. You know,
Right.
somebody said this to me. I'm not gonna say no name or nothing like that, but somebody said to me, I had somebody said I can't sign up for the pity party. And I was pissed. Pity
Hey.
party. This
Right.
ain't
What
no
the?
goddamn pity party. I lost two
Right.
of my children.
Right.
It's no pity party. This is not a pity. This is, but people don't know what to say when they haven't walked through that. I
No.
was so
And you know what though? Fathers are bad off too. I know a lot of fathers that, whew, I think they worse than the mothers are.
mad. Well,
Yeah.
my
The
kid's
father.
father, he was out for my son's death. When my
hmm
daughter died, he was in there. You know, I don't think he'll ever touched it. So they said they had to knock him out because he went loony.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
they
feel
go through.
bad for that because sometimes I'll be like,
Right.
it's his fault because of the stuff he did. You know what they say,
Right.
karma.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? They said
Right.
karma. So you
Yeah.
know,
And
I'm
trauma
gonna
is
have to
trauma.
pay for what
Right.
you did. What you didn't do out there, nigga. You know.
Right.
So I went through that. I went through that, but you know, I worked a lot of my stuff out. Like my son that's still living. I I used to be scared when I came back from Detroit. I used to be scared for him to leave the house. I mean,
Really?
really, yeah. Because me and him, a lot of people don't understand our dynamic,
Right.
but a lot of people haven't lost two siblings,
Right.
two
Right.
children. You know
Right.
what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So we walk a different path than normal people. He
Exactly.
lost his younger sibling, and
Right.
then
Yeah.
all we both could think about is if I lose her or if I lose him, then where I'm gonna be? They,
Exactly.
they're gone. So it's a process. It's a
Hmm.
process of knowing that you can't change what's gonna happen.
And the
Nothing
thing
you
is,
can
I
do.
think once you lost a child, you hang on to your other ones
Yeah.
like that. You shield them, and you kind of shelter them, and really don't want them outside. You don't really want them doing too much, because that's what I see myself as. I really shelter my kids that I have left a lot. Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, as that fear is always there. Like, what if something happens and I'm not there to help, or
yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it's
Yeah.
a rough call here, and
How are your kids
you
doing?
know, and
How
and
the boys doing?
they doing okay. They growing up. I'm gonna have to see some pictures of them too growing up, and everybody, we hanging in
I
there.
know they're proud of you, though.
They
I
yeah,
know they're proud of
and
you.
they help me out a lot too.
Yeah, because they're
Um,
keeping their sister's name alive. You know
hmm.
what I'm saying? I know they're
Yeah,
proud.
I think they know that. I think I'd have probably went crazy though. I'd probably be. I probably would have grieved myself to death though if I wouldn't have been able to get out and do something. Because like you do get in that dark place and you can just sit there and just
Mm-hmm.
have all that anger, that hurt, and
Mm-hmm.
that unforgiveness up in there, girl. That grief ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't know where I'd be at if I didn't have the support and was able to just make up my mind to get up and get out and do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what keep me going. It really do.
So how did you? Was it because of your daughter's case that opened the door for people to come to you? What gave you
You
the
know what? When my daughter first Muhammad, my dog and started barking. When she first died, like I said, we lived in Flossmoor, so a lot of my neighbors had connections with media.
okay?
Um, a lot of them actually used to work for Oprah and Steve Harvey and them, so that kind of helped.
Okay.
So the first person who reached out to me was from the newspapers. Actually started reaching out to me first, so and they would come to my house and do interviews, and
Mm-hmm.
so people once they started seeing me in the newspapers, they started reaching out, and then I was on started doing like news segments and stuff on. They started seeing me on TV, and then they just when people would see you on TV, then they would start sending you friend requests and telling me their stories and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
then once that happens, then you just start getting invited to stuff, and you have other people saying, "Hey, I seen you on here, or I seen you on there," and
Mm-hmm.
one person will introduce you to somebody else, and you know, then you start getting invited to a lot of different events where I can network and
Mm-hmm.
just get out and get your name out there. I was at an event. I think it was no last year was COVID, so it had to be the year before last. I think it was 2019. Hey, girl, this COVID got me so messed up. I don't think it was 2020. I think it was 2019. And Miss Tina Knowles was there, Beyonce's mom, and I can
Mm-hmm.
see a picture of that too. And she was like, "I seen you at a couple places, and some of these parties and get-togethers. If people know you enough to invite you to these, then you should be a lot further than where you are. You got to get up and get motivated, and do what you got to do." And when she say stuff, and then it ain't just her. I've had quite a few other people tell me, "Hey, come on now, um, do what you got to do, sweetie." I've had people call me, "Okay, what are your goals for the day and stuff?" And so, we ended up just coming in. That's what I was saying with the lip gloss. This one is kind of pink, but if you see it, it got my logo on it. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. I can say it like a little
Yeah, it
bit.
got my
Yeah, I
logo.
posted those on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep, I got some more, and then I got like we're gonna start with the eyeshadow and something else. So when you got people and they're telling you, "Hey, we got you," just and the things a lot of people see, I don't come when the media is there. I actually wait So I think the family needs me, and then I come.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm there for them. It's not about what's on TV or the
Yeah.
media, nothing. And so
Yeah.
people see that I'm genuine. I'm not for all the BS. I'm not afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to tell a person you out of order. And like even with these activists, you hear, I just don't care. You gonna tell, I know Sean King has said that if the officer was acquitted, to tell Minnesota, he don't tell you fight for justice, help change laws.
You have your own
That's
community, so you can't
that's
go to the
the
court tomorrow.
right. And his community now, he not tearing his community up. He living like a king.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tamika Mary, she tells people, "Oh, burn the Target down. We tired." But yet you living like a queen. You not living in these communities that's being tore up. And I don't think people look at it like, well, man, we tear up our stuff, but these activists who's telling us to tear, they not living in our communities. And they not tearing up their communities. They living in shit. Patrice Corrow's got $1 million matches. So she not tearing up her community. So why tear up yours? The same way them Caucasian people get justice, they fight for laws. We got to start doing that, but they not going to take us seriously until we take us serious. We got to start changing within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got to work with these youth, figure out what's going on in these homes. We got to just, I know it ain't nothing going to be done overnight, but at least just start, because if we don't love us, ain't nobody else going to love us. If we don't respect us, we can't expect nobody else to do it.
As long as they're using their platforms for high profile cases.
Right.
It will,
because that's what put money in their pocket.
Keep us, people like me, discouraged because our voices aren't heard because we don't have a high profile case. You understand what I'm saying? So just think about the women like me who lost their children, who don't have that. I mean, a few people know me because of my work, and
because you out there, right?
I'm always encouraging people, and
right. I'm not high profile either, so.
You was blessed for the right person, Judge Mathis. No, because that's a 14-year-old. Yeah, that was high profile. I'm not gonna say all of our cases were high profile. All of them just didn't get heard.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Until we get it, they get it, and realizing what's important, other than separating this and this and putting this here together, there's not going to be no change.
I know. And one of the worst things is that these activists, they do more harm to our community than help. Even when I say like the high profile versus the low profile, it pits them against each other. You know what I'm saying? It really does. And it makes them angry, and what makes your child better than mine? And they don't realize that they cause more harm by doing that than they help.
2016, I went off who was the little boy that when I was putting on the hoodies?
Oh, Trayvon?
Yeah, because I was just fresh in my son's loss, so I was one of my angry, and they had that stuff out, and I went off on Facebook. I wrote a big ass paragraph, and I was like, I don't get caught up in this because my son was killed by his what's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? And I said,
your son got killed because of Judge Hatch's show.
No, he didn't get killed because of the Judge Hatchett show. He got killed because he walked outside at the wrong time. And
he did what?
And he was in another hood with his girlfriend at her sister's house. And what it was the sister stayed in this duplex or something. And my son was over there, and he had one of the guys where they were targeting that house. One of the guys was working on his car. Because he called me because they had did remember when they did the monologue about my book?
Right.
With Tommy Ford and all of them.
Right.
He was supposed to come. And so he didn't make it. And he's like, Mom, I love you. And that was Mother's Day. He said, I'm going to come as soon as I get my car fixed. So that was the last time I spoke to him. So that was May the 7th. And then Mother's Day was on the 13th. So that was the last time I spoke to him. So he went outside because he had just had his baby. The baby was like 4 months. And He didn't make he walked outside to tell the guy to stop working on his car because he had to get up and go to work because he was in the training program. Remember that and stuff.
Right.
So
Okay.
as soon as he walked outside, I mean, it was like 70 rounds. My son got shot 8 times, and I didn't even know until a whole year later. We was reading the autopsy. I thought he got shot because my grandmother's name was on his neck and my name was on his chest, and those
Mhm.
were the two fatal. So we was reading that, and my ex husband was like, he got shot 8 times, and I just went. It was like he just got shot all over again, and it was a year later, and
Mhm.
it's crazy. I haven't read my daughter.
Wow.
I don't even know if I'm gonna do it, but I know when I went to identify her, I could feel her body crumpled up. I tried to take her off that chair.
Your daughter?
Yeah, I could feel that.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah,
Mm.
girl, it's
Yeah.
a trip. That's why people don't get it. It's been
Yeah.
11 years for my son, 6 years
Yeah.
for my daughter, and it still hurts so bad.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt always. 'Cause that's your child. Yeah. 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 Oh well. You okay?
Yeah, that's why I got to do one a week because I'll be torn.
Right.
uh,
Yeah. Well, you human.
I
That's your
did the
child.
live with the lady, Katina. I did it, I think 2 weeks ago, and she was the lady that I told you that had her niece or something pick up her son's brains off
Right.
the ground, and she put it in the freezer. And I told her, she was like, "Why do people say I'm crazy?" I said, "Because that is crazy for a normal person.
Right.
It ain't crazy to us because
Right.
we're the parents, but people don't. I don't know if I could have did that,
I
but
couldn't either though.
I said it's okay because I did some crazy stuff too.
But I don't think I could have did that one.
Yeah, but that's where our mind you go in
Yeah.
places that you don't think you could ever go. You know,
Right.
so
Yeah.
but it's been good. I love you, girl,
I
and
love you too.
I got a list of old regular people.
Hmm.
You in Chicago, so I know you're gonna help me get some interviews with some others out there. I just
Hmm.
want this thing to go, so I'm trying to fill up my calendar.
Okay.
I got my whole month the next month.
I know mothers out there too though. The mothers I know out there are like police shootings though.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. Yes. I know a few of them that lost their kids to police shootings.
But I didn't want to do some kids. I want to do some siblings. That
Siblings too. Okay.
Yeah, siblings too, because
Okay.
my son is still devastated.
Yeah.
He's still angry.
Right.
He's like he's the oldest, so he felt like he didn't
Right.
protect.
Because he lost both his siblings,
Yeah.
both of them, and didn't get justice. And it's worse when you don't get no justice. It's like,
Mhm.
man, I want justice.
Mhm.
Justice for my child.
I don't know if I ever get it, but I probably couldn't handle it if I did. I might try to kill him in that courtroom. I don't know what I'd do, but I'm sure that part is hard. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So I don't know if it's God's will for me to have that. I want it though because I don't think it's fair.
Right. Yeah. And then that kind of helps you too, knowing that the person you get some kind of justice. You know what I'm saying? I think that
Yeah,
helps a lot when you know you getting justice, but not knowing who they are and they out there living their best life or whatever.
yeah.
Then again, they might be dead. You don't even know because you don't know who they are. They might have
Well,
got
the
killed.
guys who killed my son, they were arrested. They was charged with 8 murders. They went on a spree and they only got charged with two of them. So that is six other murders that they didn't get charged for, and my son was one of them because it was a triple.
Wow.
It was a triple homicide with my son. It was you know, the two older guys. Well, he was the youngest one out there because he was the guy was working on his car. The guy that was
Right.
working on his car got shot in the back, but he didn't die.
That's
So
crazy.
Yeah.
Girl, that just gave me chills. Wow. 8 people.
8 people. One of the people was a 15-year-old boy who got shot. What did he get shot? 17 times, and he's still alive.
Wait a minute, he got shot how many times?
I think it was like 17. It was either 20 something or 17. I think. Yeah,
Whoa.
and he was still alive. He's messed up, but he's still alive. He was still alive.
Girl.
Mhm. You know that Richmond in California is no joke. You know, it's like a dark cloud when you know, like Oakland. It's just a dark cloud when you go into that.
Oakland. Okay. Okay.
Like you're going into a dungeon when you go into this particular area. It's dark.
In Oakland? Is that where you
in
are?
Richmond. In
Oh,
Richmond.
Richmond.
Where he was,
Okay.
Yeah. Because you know,
Okay.
after I took him on a Judge Hatchet show, that that a-hole came home like he was the man, you know. He was on TV, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was like, he thought he was the man. And so I had picked up and moved to a whole nother county.
Okay.
And he died, right? Couldn't stay away from it.
Mm.
Yeah, and he had a lot of great opportunities. See, people couldn't talk about me because I live my life out loud. I'm not ashamed about anything that I do.
Right.
And they
Right.
seen how I worked to try to keep my kids from doing the stuff I did because I was hard on them. I was
Right.
real hard on them, but I had 2 of them that used to hear. They said you used to be off the chain. You wasn't no joke. And my daddy whoop whoop, and they thought that was cute. You know what I'm saying? I said, ain't nothing cute about that. That's why you ain't finna turn out like that. But I had 2 that had to go test the waters,
Mm-hmm.
and they both are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So God wanted them more.
Right.
I ain't gonna say you want them more than me because I want my babies.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they were God. So
Yeah. You know,
yes,
they ain't suffering.
yeah.
They're not
Do you
suffering.
have anything else you want to talk about before I close this out?
What am I? Well, I guess like I said, the Zooms.
You can do it in the comments. Do in the comments when we get through with this on YouTube, and put your stuff down there. Put all your information
On YouTube. Okay.
like your email. You know, so people who comes and watches it can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll send me the link or?
No, you just go to my YouTube to God's Girls World.
Okay. Okay. I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will do that.
But first, I want to thank everybody who came out and took the time to watch this lowdown. I love you to pieces. I love you to pieces. She has really been supporting me. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I was like trying to reach out to people that could help me
Right.
build up my platform because, you know, I got 5,000. I got so many Facebook pages and stuff.
Right.
So I had given up when I started on YouTube the last time. I said, I'm just going to Facebook because I got a huge following, but this goes beyond that. So I said, I'm going to let God do it. I'm going to let God be whoever he wants to use to help me out without me have to pay him $250, $350.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank Miss Lowdown. She's awesome. You need to go check her out. She's
Miss Lowdown?
She's covering the Mo3 case, and she's the best at it.
Okay.
You know, drama queen. She don't cuss. She's a very, very. She's my mentor. I watch her. You know, whenever her comes on, I'm there.
Send me her information. I'll check her out.
Okay, I'll share one of her videos with you.
Okay.
But she's good at what she do, and she don't do no drama on YouTube because you know I can't do no drama either. I will cuss out and then cut you off.
Right.
They be on here fighting for clout. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No. Because it ain't them, it ain't their kids.
And I thank my son. Thank you, Omari. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Gail Hunt. Who else I see? Tasha, I seen you. Felicia. And those in the background who don't like to say stuff. I just want to thank everybody. And if you guys know of anybody that may be, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with your page or your group or whatever, because I really think that it's important for people to know about those that are left behind. That's
Yep.
almost more important than the murder because it never ends for us. Never
No.
ends. It never
Nope.
ends. And some of
Nope.
these guys out here need to see the mess that they have left behind. The
Right.
kids they grow up without the daddies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're providers. You know, I'm gonna
Hmm.
do something for these families and their kids because I remember me and my son. People was coming over my house. That's how I buried my daughter.
Hmm.
I mean, they was just coming to my house bringing money. Just come to my house bringing money. Just come to my house
Right.
bringing money. I didn't even have to use the GoFundMe. It was all at my house
Right.
because I decided not to go through what I went through with Jahan, and I cremated her, so she's with me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, that made, and you couldn't tell that we didn't have no insurance. I told God, I remember when Jahan, I said, God, you you do what you got to do for my son. I wanted because God knew what I wanted for my son, and it was nice. It turned out the same way with my daughter. So
Right.
it was beautiful. You couldn't tell we didn't have no money.
Right.
And then it made my life even more devastating after that because I didn't work, I didn't do nothing, so I was out income. I just
Hmm.
last year, the end of last year, when I started working again, is when
Okay.
I got a little piece
So
of strength.
COVID care set you back and
Living,
everything.
huh?
COVID care set you back.
No, COVID. No. I started working through that. Through that.
Okay.
The day that I started my job, they called us in the office and said we had to go home because of COVID.
Okay.
And as soon as it was lifted enough for us to go back to work, all the people that was there before, because I guess unemployment paid more money, they called the new people. So we went in and took over.
Right.
So
And that's what's
God,
happening. It's happening a lot. A lot of people not working now because of, they getting this free money and stuff.
yeah, I'm
It's
not
not
working
gonna
right
last forever though. It's
now.
not gonna last
No, it's not
forever.
gonna last forever at all. At all. So, but once again, thank you guys. When do I have another live coming up? Where's my schedule here?
Mm.
I have Felicia Stevens on 5/5, so she's in here. She's gonna tell her story, and
Okay.
yeah, so my calendar is pretty booked up for that. But like I told you, remember, start lining them up with me, and then come in and co-host with me sometimes.
Hmm.
Serious.
Hmm.
So I love you, family. Thank you, everybody that has took their time. Look like only 10 people. I think there's more people in here. I think that thing is wrong. I hope it is. But if not, y'all come back and watch this later. It's fine. Not tripping. God's gonna do what He needs to do in this for me because He knows that I want to make this right here a career for me. So
Okay.
thank you once again, Elizabeth. And we stay in contact and we
Yes,
got to
yes,
get
yes.
together. And I think you out there with Miss Lowdown, so y'all probably need to connect. Yeah, because
Okay.
we want to do some stuff and help
Okay.
the left behind. So check out her videos and stuff, and
Okay.
hopefully we can all connect and do something together.
Okay. Let's slow
And
down. Okay.
okay, well,
Okay.
like I said, everybody, thank you for coming out. This is my launch date, and I'll be back on the 5th unless otherwise. I'm gonna do that on my own. And my book isn't in the stores, back in the stores yet, but I gotta work on that. I gotta work
Right.
on it back in the stores, back in Amazon and all that stuff. So I love
Yeah.
you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this and close us out.
Right.
Encourage somebody. Close us out. Elizabeth,
Yeah.
close us out.
Oh, you guys having a wonderful night, an amazing week. I love you guys. If you need me, my name is Elizabeth Gerald TF. On Facebook, it's MJG Movement. It's my movement page. MJG Movement on IG and Twitter. If you need me for anything, inbox. I'm here. Stay positive. Stay happy. Just live your best life and between me and my sister here and my other sisters I have working with me, you know, Dorothy and Yolanda, we gonna get together.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can change the world.
Yes, we gotta do our part at least.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Hmm. If all the mothers come together, we can do it.
Yeah, sure can.
Yep.
Sure can. Maybe
Okay.
God will use you to help us
Yeah.
get there.
Hmm. Thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, love you guys. I'll see you soon. Muha.
All right. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.
Right.